How about explain what a 80, what is this, an 87?
Yeah.
An 87 Loyal wagon is doing with 5 lug wheels. How about we start there?
First of all, it's not a Loyal.
True, it's a GL.
If we look down here, we see this here Subaru L Series wagon has a 5-lug suspension, which it was never equipped with from the factory. This 5-lug comes from a Subaru XT6, which is loosely based on this platform, such as the driveline and floor pan arrangement, but the hubs and stuff with the 5-lug are kind of predecessor to your now current Subaru Legacy and Impreza style suspensions. This was modified onto here to allow use of something larger than a 13-inch wheel that is only available on a Subaru in an odd 140 by 4mm lug pattern.
Ow! There used to be a car in here. Well, I guess there still is a car in here.
Alright. Now, this car here, this 87 Subaru GL10, is originally turbo, single range, 5-speed, 4-wheel drive. This car now currently contains the turbo motor and full-time 4-wheel drive dual range transmission and limb slip rear end out of the Subaru RX is now in this car. The wiring harness in the RX burned up somewhere, which lent its driveline to this car. Now that this car is kind of crap, I'm going to put everything back in the RX and use the dashboard from this car in the RX to make the world's first and only Subaru RX-10 3-door coupe with digital dashboard.
Oh look, it's a turbo.
This hood scoop at one time was functional.
Is that gonna hold?
It will. What the hell's the spare tire doing in there? Well, see, people don't understand that's where the spare tire goes in this car. I mean, would you want to unload your whole wagon to change your tire, which you're probably going to have to do anyway, especially if you run a bunch of just junk tires all the time. This here is the RX's original motor, but it's built on another block. The RX one time had a rod knock, so we built all the turbo heads and whatnots onto the carbureted block, yielding 8.5 compression ratio versus 7.7. The heads are mildly ported to allow for better flow and scavenging, things of that nature. The alternator is now in another car at this time.
So it's about 11 p.m. at night, and we're running to grab some drinks, I think, or maybe some cigarettes. And I'm pulling out of a parking lot. Now, on the back of this car, we had, what was it, an E8 block or was it an 8.2 block?
It was a multi-port fuel-injected non-turbo block from an 87 XT.
Whole motor just sitting in the back. Now, the first thing you got to keep an eye on is that this here hatch, it don't, you just. Now, we had pretty much a motor sitting back here, and a couple other parts of some shit. And I decided it would be funny if I tried to slide the car. It didn't work, but what did work was I was able to ventilate this rear end of the car here by smashing the block out of it. Now, it didn't fly out the window. Interestingly enough, it didn't dump out of the back of the car until I pulled onto the road. And then somebody hit it with a Nissan Sentra. We were able to collect the heads of the engine and part of a bumper.
Roll with it.
Well, it's your trailer. You should fucking, I mean, there's a spider intake back there. I don't even know what that means.
Alright, this here is a Subaru Spider intake from an 87 XT non-turbo. This is the same intake that came off this motor that punctured a window in the Trash Wagon 6. But once I swap the motors and everything from this onto the RX, I'm going to put this here intake on. And with the intake of this nature, the orientation of it brings the throttle body over here instead of it on the top, which would allow me to put in a Subaru WRX type intercooler on the top with the turbo for increased boostier. Make it boostier. This is the 87 RX that's going to sometime here soon receive its original motor and driveline back. As you can see, this is an electrical nightmare going on with all this crazy stuff. You know, wires twisted up to make it run, fuel pumps on a rear window switch and stuff.
What's that?
This car is
amp?
outfitted with Trash Wagon 5's original driveline and accessories and carpet. The nefarious car with its doomsday.
It's like sleeping on the floor when I'm drunk.
from the car of its wayward westerly travels and ill-fated demise and such of that stuff. But I'm going to swap in the digital dashboard from the GL10 up here.
Yeah.
As you can see, this car would rather have a motor in it than to not have a motor in it.
Oh, is that an axle? Oh, I see axles.
Here's the Blunt Cruiser. I took this here Toyota camper on the Babe Rally 07 this year. This time around, after going last year in a trash wagon replica, it broke down in the mountains of Virginia. U-Haul painted my camper. I painted this in the wash bay at the U-Haul over the winter time and finished the last of it up around this May. Since then, the alternator crapped en route, and I hooked it up to the secondary alternator and ran that. When I come back, the battery crapped out. I got these here tires on here, but it drives plowy. Changed the master cylinder because it originally didn't have any brakes, and now it has absolutely no brakes at all. Because now I have a brake line out.
Wheel cap didn't do any favors for the brakes.
Especially with J-Rod behind the wheel.
Yeah, well now it's got a brake line out over here now that I've fixed everything else that was wrong. The front, there's a junction over here, and the brake line that runs the front wheels from the master cylinder is blown out. And the rears aren't grabbing because the shit won't bleed itself out if it's leaking. Once I get brake pressure, then I lose it as soon as I get down the road. This car has two alternators. This looks like a Mopar alternator. This runs the camping side of the truck. The original alternator, which I replaced just recently, runs the battery side, the motor side of the truck. And then U-master cylinder. I was going to replace the clutch cylinder, but the one they gave me was the wrong part. Got them their Baja and lights going on. I guess with a lot of these, the Toyota badge is missing, but mine has it. All original shit, 1978. This car's just a tad bit older than me.
I'll film the starting process. I'll also film his carpet roof and the amp right there. Go ahead and tap that amp for us.
Green light, my amp. This shit's dead as fuck. It's dead.
It's fucking dead. Huh?
Dead battery.
Bios battery. And here's the rest of the Subaru Armada.
I got my sedan going again. Had to replace the rear trailing arm and the whole front cross member. It had bent up tie rods from dumbass tow trucks. Slide into curves and whatnot.
Did you have to replace any of the tires, or just?
I replaced the front two tires. The back ones are, one's threadbare on the inside, the other one's pretty good on the other side. Look at that tire.
Because it sat here for quite a while, just sitting on flat tires.
Yeah, it's mainly because the aluminum rims.
That, and if you look at the inside, fucking tread on all the wheels.
You can see all the way through the car and shit. Check it out.
Yeah, you fucking can. Yeah, you fucking can.
I ought to put my roof racks back on it.
You should, because this is the one you're driving now. This thing's fucking busted front wheel drive piece.
You're getting a bit low on turn signal.
I've had these same lights ever since I...
This is the second, actually it's newer than the SVX. Which one is this? This is Trash Wagon 8, right? This used to be Jonesy's. Desmond Jonesy.
95 Subaru leg anus pre-Outback.
Is it an Outback? Isn't this before the Outback was like the Outback?
It's like an Outback pre-Outback.
Yeah, if you notice the interior isn't quite right. It's totally filled with shit. Stolen magazines.
Yeah, this car needs a transmission. Here's the Bay Patrol car, now unofficially Trash Wagon 9. The Trash Wagon brush paint job. Quick and economical. Still gotta get a title going on with this one.
This one isn't registered to anyone still?
It's registered that guy.
Oh, RPM dyno tuning. Oh, what do they register? 10 horsepower at the wheels?
10 horsepower in your mom.
In my mom.
Yep.
Classic. Classic comeback. Alright.